From the Rafale jets touching the Indian soil to the constant rise in COVID-19 cases, a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. Good evening, you're watching the Daily News Bulletin. I'm Navya Singh. Let's begin with the headlines today. Now, first, as always, the COVID-19 updates. India today added 48,513 fresh cases in the last 24 hours. At least 768 people died due to COVID-19, pushing the total death toll due to the virus to beyond 34,100 in the country. Now, with these numbers, India has already surpassed the 15.3 lakh mark in terms of the coronavirus tally in the country. While these numbers are worrying, ladies and gentlemen, there's always some good news. Over 10 lakh people have already recovered of the deadly virus in India, pushing the recovery rate to beyond 64.5%. Shifting focus to another major news, India today is extremely excited to receive the first batch of the Rafale jets that have landed in Ambala today. The jets were received by Indian Air Force Chief Air Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria. Now, these jets are all set to be inducted into the Indian Air Force, and a formal induction of these jets will be conducted sometime in mid-August. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, with an impressive weapon system and radar, the Rafale is way ahead than the F-16 that Pakistan uses and is one of the finest fighters in the world and can take up to several missions in just a single flight. Shifting focus to Maharashtra, the state which is the worst affected due to COVID-19 crisis. Recently, a medical survey was conducted of about 7,000 people in the city, which showed that 16% of the population had been infected with novel coronavirus. The research or the study also found that 57% of the population living in slums, where people live in cramped spaces and also share toilets, have already been infected with COVID-19. The study also found that most of the patients or people infected with COVID-19 were asymptomatic, and the fatality rate was as low as 0.05 to 0.1%. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Mumbai has over 1 lakh COVID-19 cases, which constitutes to about 7% of the country's COVID-19 tally. Now, COVID-19 is not the only health risk for people, at least in India. As per a recent report published by the University of Chicago, air pollution levels can slash or shorten your average life expectancy in India by up to 5.2 years. If you are a resident living in Delhi, you can add an additional 9.4 years to your lifetime or your average life expectancy if the pollution levels in the national capital are controlled and are met according to the WHO guidelines. As per the research conducted by the University of Chicago, a quarter of India's population is exposed to the pollution levels that no other country has ever witnessed. Talking about health, the United Kingdom, which continues to fight COVID-19, has another health crisis to tackle. The United Kingdom government has decided to launch a campaign against obesity, citing a research that shows that people who are obese or are overweight are at risk of getting negatively affected by the deadly virus. Now, this campaign, ladies and gentlemen, was launched after Prime Minister Boris Johnson revealed that he was overweight in April when he was diagnosed with coronavirus. To begin with, this campaign will aim at banning all the advertisements that are related to junk food in the country before 9 p.m. on the televisions. It will also necessarily ask the restaurants to mention the calorie count of all the meals that are mentioned in their menu. PM Johnson believes that this step or this campaign will not just help in fighting coronavirus, but also other health-related diseases and cancer. That's all for today. I'll be back with some more important news tomorrow. Thanks for watching.